It's Saturday. Again, it's amazing how quickly these weeks go by. This Saturday, I am going for salad, which is my life now. More of this later when I've heard from Nadia and she says she's on her way. She feared she may be delayed because she had to wash her hair. Welcome to my new content, which is all about heart health and lowering your cholesterol because this week has been an absolute doozy. So last week, if anybody watched, I was daft enough to talk about the fact that I had a bit of a chest pain. And I'm going to be completely honest, I was completely downplaying something that was actually a little bit more serious than I was letting on. So for about the last 3 weeks, I've had a pain in my chest and right in the center of my back, and occasionally a pain in my left shoulder as well. And of course, Dr. Google told me I was in immediate heart failure. So, being me, I decided to ignore it and hope it would go away. Anyway, this week, by Sunday, I was in so much pain. And I thought this isn't something that's going away. So I contacted my HR lady. All hail private healthcare is all I'm going to say at this point. And she was like, "Oh yeah, great. I'll send you to a cardiologist. When do you want to go?" So I said I'd go on Wednesday because I don't teach on Wednesday afternoon. So that seemed like a good time. So I went to this cardiologist, really nice hospital, very, very, very fancy. And spoke to this doctor who was older than 12, which made a nice change because the doctor who dealt with me when I broke my ankle was about 11. And I explained what had happened, and I said, "So yeah, I'm just here so you can tell me I'm imagining the whole thing and send me away again." And she said, "Okay, well, we can do that, but let's have a look first." So she sent me downstairs for some blood tests. I am absolutely shockingly bad with needles, and did this whole thing where, I started to talk to the phlebotomist, and she said, I don't speak English. And so I mimed her jabbing a needle into my arm and then mimed myself like going, blah, 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 and going into a faint. And she was like, "Oh, no, 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 it's fine, it's fine." And she actually is the most pain-free blood test I've ever had in my entire life. And then I went back upstairs, and the doctor did that, the scan like you have when you're having a baby. Did one of those on my chest, and she said, "Yeah." She said, "We'll wait for your test results. Your blood pressure's a little bit high." I thought, well, it's nothing like what it was before I left the UK, but okay. She said, "Now I'll email you tonight with your blood results. Can you come back tomorrow? We'll do an ECG treadmill test on you." I thought, blimey, you can get this at home. So she emailed me that evening, and all my bloods were normal except my cholesterol, which was shockingly, appallingly high. So it doesn't surprise me. I don't look after myself. It's supposed to be between 60 and 130, and mine's 201, which is really bad. And it is a result of the fact that I've been very sedentary since I broke my ankle. I haven't moved as much as I should do. I've got lazy. I've eaten, my portions in the school canteen where everything is basically made of fat. I've got bigger and bigger, and I've not cooked properly at home, just been eating like sausage and cheese and bread with butter on it, and, getting bored in the evenings and going, "Oh, I'll have 2 or 3 glasses of wine," eating sweets because this is the land of sweets. All those things are very, very bad for you, and clearly I'm paying for it now. So I went back the next day, promised to change my entire life. She put me on this treadmill, hooked me up to all those, those little ECG things. And a couple of times, I mean, it felt fine, but a couple of times she said, "Did that hurt?" And I was like, "No." "Why?" Anyway, once she took me off it, she said, "Look, I think you're okay, but the readout did show a couple of irregular moments, which I want to look at further." She said, "If you were in your own country, the doctors there would do this, and you're not. You're in our country, so we're going to do it. We want you to come back at your convenience and have a cardioangiogram." So I didn't know what that was, so I said, "Okay." She gave me a load of prescription drugs, So I've got a cholesterol lowering drug, a blood thinner, and what's the other one? Cholesterol, blood. Oh, something to help my heart, basically. Um, and so I went home and I Googled what a cardioangiogram was. And then I got really scared because, if they want to do that on me and they've given me all these drugs, there's a high probability there is something wrong with my heart, which it is a result of not looking after myself properly. Plus, my dad had major heart issues. My mum and my auntie have got heart issues. If my brother is around, will you please go and get your heart checked out? Because, our family have gifted us with this wonderful thing, and neither of us live the healthiest lifestyle. So it was a bit of a shocker. Plus, it sounds like a really disgusting process where they feed a cannula into your vein and then shoot you full of dye and then check out your heart. And the other thing that Google said, not this, she did not suggest she was going to do this, but the other thing that Google says is if it shows an irregularity, then since you're all cathetered up anyway, they put a stent in your heart. And I realised that that's not a problem because once you've got a stent in, you can live a better life than you lived without it. But I'm still absolutely shitting myself at the idea of them like sticking things in my veins and stuff. They might have to give me a sedative. So that's not brilliant, but it has been a bit of an eye opener. I've been to the shops and bought all the veg. The leaflet that she gave me once I translated it, the list of things I'm not allowed, was basically a list of everything that I love in life. And the list of things I am allowed is a list of things that I don't really like very much. So I'm going to have to adapt massively. So, I mean, I've been on many diets and I've been a lot thinner than this, but some of the ingredients that I would normally use to make myself thinner are now off limits. Cream cheese. I've always used reduced fat cream cheese. They don't even sell that here. Stock, because it's full of salt, so I need to think about cooking without stock, and a lot of things you just can't get here, because everything is, even the ham is like that salami stuff. So that's it's not brilliant, but I'm actually quite excited about changing my lifestyle because I've known for quite a while that I've got to do it. So this is the incentive. There is no bigger incentive than don't order that cheeseburger. You might die. That is quite the incentive to get you fighting fit again, isn't it? So I'm hoping when I go back in 2-3 weeks, she'll actually be able to say, "Oh, I can see that you look healthier and you've lost weight," and then she'll let me carry on doing that rather than stent me. But if I need a stent, I need a stent. But that opens up a whole can of worms about, will I be able to move on to my next job? Will they still want me? Will I be covered by private health insurance in a new country? And I've just been saying to my mum, because she was very much, understandably, she's my mum. Well, I hope you don't go abroad. I hope you don't move on to another country. I hope you come home. But that's going to be tricky because when I said I would never work in the UK again in a school, I would never teach in the UK again, that wasn't an idle statement. I meant it. I won't. I blame the stress of UK teaching for what is currently happened to me this week. That didn't come out of nowhere, and it's not come out of just the last couple of months of being sedentary. That's coming from years and years of stress and unhappiness teaching in the UK, and I'm not going to do it. So maybe if hopefully the job will work out. I do still want to go, but if it doesn't, then we'll look at doing 3 months here, 3 months in Bulgaria until we can get our residency and go there full time. Who knows? But I certainly will not get a job teaching in the UK again. So yeah, that was a doozy. Apart from that, Nadia took me out for my lunch today. God love her. She'd done all this research and she'd found a salad bar. And she said, it's fine. She said, you can eat as much salad as you like. And then we get a menu and we can order something. You could just order like a chicken breast or something. Only she was wrong, because what she'd actually taken me to was one of those all-you-can-eat Brazilian steak houses. And I have always wanted to go to one. And it was the saddest event of my entire life because, yes, there was a massive salad bar and it was delicious. And I had loads and loads of, lettuce and carrot and cabbage and some walnuts and all sorts of things. And the only thing that was bad in there was a big Caesar salad. And although I didn't have any of the cheesy bits, you couldn't get the dressing off the leaves. So I've had to account for that as my fat content. But they were bringing round these huge, great lumps of beautiful steak and brisket and roast beef and barbecue meat on these big skewers and slicing it off for you at the table. And I just kept having to say, no, thank you. Or I think I had like 2 bites of a piece of brisket, and it was the best meat I have ever eaten in my entire life. But beef and I, we are no more. It's a once a week thing for me at the most now. So I thought 3 days into my new regime, probably getting stuck into about 8 slices of steak wasn't the best start. So yeah, so that's me. I'm going to make some soup, vegetable soup. Maybe I'll become one of those cooking channels that shows you how to make nutritious, healthy, low cholesterol food. It will involve a lot of chickpeas. So I'll stick together some bits and pieces I haven't got a lot on my phone this week, and I'll catch you next time. Hopefully, looking visibly slimmer, but probably not. I think the last thing she said to me was, you must walk as much as possible, but not very fast, which put the fear of God into me. That really scared me, but all will be well. All will be fine. So take care. And if you are like me and you eat lots of fatty food and you drink too much and you don't get enough exercise, please change, because otherwise you'll end up as frightened as I have been this week. Peace out.